Zen fam. So, recently, Gold2th Gaming made a video, especially for the gaming community, about funding on YouTube channels, especially of a gaming nature. And since this is a gaming culture YouTube channel, I felt it necessary to debate and in some cases push back on Mr. Gold2th's points. You see, there's some tension with some of the arguments that Mr. Tooth brought forward. Take, for instance, how Mr. Gold2th has basically said about how being on Patreon and asking people for money is grubby. And there's a certain truth to that. However, as I say, I have contention with his assertions. But before I get to those assertions, I must remind you, ladies and gentlemen, and the lovely non-binaries of the Zen fam, that we're getting very, very close to 1,000 uploads. So stick close to the community post feed of this channel, because soon, very soon, there will be an announcement of a live Q&A 1,000 upload special, where that Q&A will be the 1,000th upload. So have your questions ready, stay tuned to the channel, watch out for the announcement. Right, so Mr. Gold2th has basically said that, have adverts in. He even went as far to say is, I'll even help you get adverts, which I'm not quite sure how he'll do, but thank you for the offer, Mr. Tooth. Anyway, there's a flaw to that plan. You see, the main thing about adverts anywhere, never mind just YouTube, people hate adverts. How many times have you been there with your phone and you go, dude, check out this video, I found this the other day, and you go to find the video, or you may even have it in your watch later list of your favourites or whatever, and you hit play on the video, and what you met with? An advert. Sometimes two adverts. Sometimes three adverts. Sometimes unskippable adverts. Sometimes an advert that is unskippable met with a skippable advert, or a skippable advert that goes into an unskippable advert. Adverts and adverts and adverts. And then, even worse still, sometimes the video is going and you're having a lovely time and you're learning something new, or you're being entertained, or you're having a giggle, or whatever, or it's a really awesome video by a band you're totally into, and a BAM! Advert. Yeah. No. Mid-adverts, they make you bounce. Sometimes people see an advert at the beginning of a video and they don't stay for the video. They just go. No. And I can understand that thinking. I mean, consider any time that Amazon or Netflix or whatever have gone, oh, we're going to put adverts on our service, and people lose it. They lose it big. Adverts. No. Because people hate adverts. There's no choice in adverts. You're just foisted with them. They're just put upon you. They stand between you and your entertainment. So, people go, well, I'll use a Patreon model. And with a Patreon model, people go, right, so you give me this amount of money, you'll get this content. You give me this amount of money, you'll get this content. You give me this amount of money, you'll get this content. Now, the amount of tiers is the material. There could be 5 tiers, it could be 1 tier, it doesn't matter. The idea of it is that it's customer choice, it's viewer choice. It's all about providing more options. It's about the market. I know it's a horrible term, it makes me but that's what it is. There's no getting away from it. People make a conscious decision that if they like a creator enough, they give them money so that they can get more. And for some big operations, like say Kinda Funny, Kinda Funny Games Daily and Games Cast and Regways and all the other content they do, from an 11-person team who are in a gigantic studio based in San Francisco, which is not a cheap city to live in. They make all this stuff. They rely on the Patreon model for funding. And some YouTubers use that kind of funding to like be able to travel to see the stuff that their audience is into, buy and maintain equipment, pay electricity, pay for B-roll and copyright-free music. There's lots and lots of little things that money can be used for. It's not just all for, buy me a spectrum and take it up the rectum, as we put it, because admittedly that was a very clever line, sir, but it's not the entire story. Here's the rest of the story, okay? Got your YouTube AdSense revenue over here, right? But with that YouTube AdSense revenue, there's a following problem. The content creator gets very little of that. So they're basically incentivized to put more adverts in. More adverts at the beginning, adverts in the middle, adverts at the end. Now, it's hard enough to get people to click on a video. It's hard enough to get people to stay in the video. But if you've got a video advert in the end of the video, people often bounce because of an advert. And then you have a trouble, even if you get past that advert in the middle, you've got to try and keep them to the end, which is even harder still. Keeping a subscriber or a random viewer to the end of a YouTube video is a tricky proposition. You have to provide content value all the way through, which is no mean feat. And then at the end of the video, you're expecting people to watch an advert after your video? That don't math. It really does not make sense. So, people see very little kickback from using AdSense revenue, and the audience doesn't like adverts. However, when a content creator has a Patreon model, they get most of that money. Yes, there's obviously admin fees and such for Patreon because they're running everything and banking everything and making all the wheels turn. But there's a greater monetary kickback for the content creator from a Patreon model than there is from an AdSense model. So logically, for the content creator, Patreon is the way forward. And what Patreon does that adverts don't is it provides viewer, customer choice. A viewer will basically go, I personally think that this content creator is very, very good. I enjoy this content creator. I want to see more from this content creator. Ergo, I'm willing to pay for it. And we already have YouTubers paying for our content. In our case, at our level, Mr. Tooth, we're having content creators pay with their time, their precious time on this earth, in this existence. And we must never forget that. Their time, you out there, is your time. It's precious to you. You only have a finite amount of it, and you don't know when it'll end. So, we have to make sure that when we come along and we talk to our audiences and prospective audiences, that we are saying things that are of interest, or at least entertaining, or something that provides value to them. We have to provide value to the customer, basically. So when you're a Patreon person, that value then is basically a legal contract, more or less. If you said, I'm going to provide this for this amount of money, I'm going to provide this for this amount of money, and I'm going to provide this for this amount of money. And they get that. So when you get right down to it, it's a choice model. It's about giving people what they paid for. And if they don't want to pay for it, they don't have to have it. Whilst with the AdSense model, they have to have it. They can't not get away from adverts. Even if it's one advert and it's unskippable, there's still that 5-second video window where they're not getting the content that they clicked for. They're getting a piece of an advert. But obviously, ladies and gentlemen, the Zen fam, and all you lovely non-binaries out there, I would love to know what you think. So type down below, let Zen Bloke know, and hopefully Gold2th will read these comments and he'll know what you think too. And obviously, please, Gold2th, if you're seeing this video, and I really hope you are, then do feel free to get into the comment section and expand upon your point. Maybe I've missed something in my argument. And hopefully you won't miss the idea to hashtag support Scottish YouTubers, and of course, as always, aye, nae bother.